Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Karasevich, and you are watching Social Chatter, the longest running social media marketing talk show. We've been doing this for quite a while. I mean, it's been, I think, a few years now, actually. We do an episode every single week, but it's been an amazing journey. I will say, there's a lot of work that goes into doing live video. But today, we're going to have a special guest on. Nick's going to be joining me shortly. And we're also going to be joined by Nats Wang. We're just working through some technical issues to get her on the show. So just hang tight with me here, and then we will get started here. So, by the way, for those of you watching, just keep in mind, we do this show for you. So if you could help us share this out, head to the Facebook page. Click on the share button and share out this week's show. So let's bring Nats on 1 second. Hey there, how are you? Let's see. I'm not hearing any audio from you. Let me see. You're not muted. I don't have any audio from you. Let me see. So we're going to have Nats on here in a second. She's here. We just got to get the audio working. But give me a second here. You can hear me, right, Nats?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Oh, there you go. Okay, you just came in. Okay, good. Very awesome. So I want to welcome Nats to the show. Nats, you've been one of our regular guests on the show for quite a while now. We love having, the support of the community. So thanks a lot for tuning in. And we're actually really glad to have you on the show this week. We can finally have you on, actually. Nick was telling me, I guess you were doing some traveling. So do me a favor, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do? What are your, what social media channels, for instance, where can people find you? And then also, how'd you get started? I guess let's talk about that. How'd you get started in social as well?
Okay, so for me, actually, I was very quiet on social media until probably about maybe 2 to 3 years ago. And I was actually looking for something that I can do during my own free time. And in a way, like trying to transit from having a job to working, like having that freedom to work on my own. And that's how I actually came across like, oh, you can actually work as a social media manager. And at that time, like I was already doing like cooking blogs and stuff like that. So I was starting to learn how to use social media. And from there, I just went into it. Like I just started helping other people do their stuff. And then I was helping my job with their...
Sure.
I was helping my my work with their social media, and from there I just continued on. Like I just decided to do it, and as I got more active in social media, I started using like Twitter for Twitter chats, and that's how I started to get to know other people and learn about Snapchat. So I guess it just grew from there. So right now, actually, since I started doing Snapchat, the funny thing is I actually did a career switch because my usual lifestyle, like outside of it, what I really enjoy, outside of work, I enjoy doing like health and fitness stuff. And I've been dabbling in that for like the last 3 years or so. And I would say like, because of my food allergies and all of that, I actually spent a lot of time talking about it on Snapchat, like creating awareness about food allergies and what people are missing out on. Like there are a lot of signs that our body is giving to us, but we are not paying attention to it. And so that's what I try to do, like sharing about all those on Snapchat. And from there, the platform just grew, and there were more and more people that were having the similar issues. They were coming to me, and I decided to go and take like a proper certification in nutrition.
Okay.
And now I'm actually going all in on my nutritionist side of things.
Oh, very, very awesome. That's an amazing story. So, so speaking of Snapchat, like what kinds of things are you posting there? For instance, are you posting individual photos and, doing some doodles on there? Are you tapping into face filters? Are you sharing, some video? Just, I want to hear kind of how you're using it.
Basically, I use it to share my daily life because I think like many times like social media, it's really used a lot for like just putting out links and all that. But for me,
Promotion, yeah.
yes, I wanted to add like personality to it. Like, I wanted people to see like this is really how I live my life, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what I've been doing daily. And if I can do it, like anybody else can do it. I'm not someone that's like super fit or anything. I'm just like anybody else. So if I can change my life this way, somebody else can do it too. So I've been showing like everything, because even myself, I'm not supernatural. I have like my own struggles, and I share it openly every single day. So I mean,
Very good.
I do share like my own workouts, my fitness routines, and then I do share like what I eat and like just cooking stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty amazing, man, because a lot of people, here's the thing, they go on social and they share a lot of things that really are not like, they're kind of putting on airs in a way. They're trying to, make themselves better than they really are. And, I like the authenticity there. I mean, a lot of people, you know, um, it takes a lot of guts for people to get comfortable to even share, to get on live video, for instance. So,
Yes.
for them to make that something regular, it's hard to do. So congrats on all the
I
success with
think
that.
it's like in many ways, like we see a lot of things on social media is like very edited. And so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
put on like a very unedited life. Like it's kind of funny because I was actually on Snapchat earlier on, and I said it's kind of weird because I rarely even put on makeup. On Snapchat, I'm totally like just raw me there. And I'm like, this is funny that I'm actually putting on makeup today for this, which is
Mm-hmm.
not my usual thing, but
But here's the thing. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I just literally just rolled out of bed. I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. So
oh wow.
it's all about. But here's the thing. It's all about being presentable on camera. So, for example,
Yes.
it's people want to obviously also tune in. They want to for instance, like your background is super clean. I mean, people want to hear they want to hear they want to hear your story. They also don't want to be distracted, for instance, by background and whatnot. So. Um,
Yes.
so just a quick update for everybody. Nick's going to be joining us here shortly. By the way, we got some great guests. We've got Danica Morris from last week. Charlene, let's see. Charlene, what's your last name? I'm not seeing that here, but really good to have everybody here. Nick will be here shortly. So my name is Christian Karasevich. We're watching Social Chatter. Just want to let's talk about the news this week. What do you think, Nats?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Have you had a chance to look at any of the topics that we had for the week, or?
I did check out some of them, and I was like, it's pretty interesting actually.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. So Facebook, they have they've launched some new messenger tags, and these let's talk about the Facebook messenger tags. So a lot of people are not going to use messenger tags. For example, if you're not using like chatbots and that sort of stuff, messenger tags might not be as useful for you at the moment. But I will say, kind of look at chatbots almost like a bit of a, let's say it's almost like a virtual assistant for your business. But in this case, here's what's happened. So Facebook has rolled out some new messenger tags. Three of these in particular are ones called account update, payment update, and personal finance update. And there's also a shipping update one as well. And basically what a messenger tag is, it's a way for you as a business to add these into your chat bot, for instance, that you might be building. So you might be using like Chat Fuel or something like that to build a chat bot. And what this will do is it will interact with Messenger. So, for example, if a customer says, "Hey, I need some help with this product. I need to know if my item was shipped." The typical process is the person would go to their email. They'd get their confirmation code if they were sent one. They would then go to a website where they made the purchase. They put that contact code in. They would then check the status updates. And then, if they have an issue or whatever with it, then they'd have to go find out how to message that business. So as you can see, it's a very complicated pattern. You're going from here to here to here to here to here to here. Okay. So what we are doing though with this is, Facebook is now giving you options. So when you build your chatbot, a customer can essentially go to your Facebook Messenger, message your business, and get this information based on the fact that you asked them a simple question that Facebook, can go back and retrieve this information and bring it back to the customer. So as a business, this is a fantastic feature to have, because you're going to be able to reduce the number of requests that you have to respond to. That's the hardest part as a business. You join your business and people, you start getting lots of requests, and you have to answer them, but there's only so many hours of the day. So you could be spending your entire day doing, customer service inquiries if you're a solopreneur. So that is this week's update for messenger tags. What do you think about this, Nats?
I was just thinking, it's really interesting because they are really removing that part of things like they take away, they are removing email out of the entire equation and making people spend more time on their platform, which is the messenger. Because I think we are seeing the direction that they're moving towards, because they want to put advertisements and stuff like that on messenger and in different areas of their platform. So by doing that, they're actually making people spend more time on their apps like Messenger or even Facebook itself. And so that's a pretty smart thing because they're personalizing it totally. I've been playing around with a couple of the apps and all this, and a lot of those bots, they are really giving me personalized information, how am I supposed to take my bus rides and stuff like that. And I really love it. So many times, sometimes I have nothing to do and I'll be just chatting with them oh, tell me a joke. And they actually do that now. It's really smart.
And here's the thing, as a business, you kind of have to look at it like this. You don't need to run your entire business using a chatbot. You need to use it as a helper. So it can help with different things. For example, you mentioned bus routes. That's one thing you can use them for. You can use chatbots in Messenger for shipping. You could also use it, for example, to send a receipt to a customer with these new Messenger tags that are available. If an item is out of stock and a customer is able to order through your Facebook page, it can send them an out of stock notification. Another thing, actually, if you do any sort of auctions, there's a payment update option that notifies somebody an auction has ended. So these are just a few examples of things that can help your customer. Oh, by the way, and here's another really good one. Actually, this one is actually under the account update one. It's about the fact that the membership has expired. So if a customer, for instance, is part of a membership with your business, you could have a chat bot that messages them when their membership has expired, so that they don't have to wait for the email. It can re-up them right there. They can get notified also as well. So that's topic one for this week. Let's keep moving on through some more topics here. So let me get the next one up. Let's see. And by the way, while we're watching, if you all want to, we'd love it if you would go to the Facebook page. There's a post right at the top. If you could share that out, we would really appreciate it. That helps us obviously reach a broader audience. So thanks a lot for that. Okay, so let's talk about some Facebook ads. So we'll stick with Facebook ads here, or we'll stick with Facebook. By the way, let me change something here. So by the way, thanks a lot, by the way, Danica, for sticking with us, and Morris and Charlene. We really appreciate it. And if you all want to come on camera and talk about any of these too as well, by the way, we could bring you on. Let's see. Okay, so here's what I want to do. We're going to move into the next topic. Topic number 2 is actually about Facebook ad activity. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you all just a quick screen here of this. And just let me get this pulled up. Let's see. Okay, so topic two is actually going to be about some new updates from Facebook. And these are actually some pretty cool updates. These are actually a way for you to see recent Facebook ad activity. This is actually in the Facebook mobile app. And what this is going to do is, this is actually a pretty sweet update. You can find this in the Facebook mobile app. We'll show you how in a second here. Okay, so you guys should be seeing my screen, but basically, what has happened is Facebook is now letting you see up to 3 months of recent activity through Facebook ads, and this is ad activity that you've watched. That you've watched. This is ad activity that you've either clicked on or saved, and you can find this by launching the Facebook mobile app. In the Facebook mobile app, you're going to want to click on that hamburger menu on the bottom right-hand corner. This is on an iPhone. And then you're going to want to scroll down to the Explore section and look for this recent ad activity. This ad activity, when you tap on this, it's going to bring up the following. And here you're going to be able to see recent activity. You're going to also be able to see saved activity. In this case, this is an ad that I actually clicked on. And what's really great about this is you could go and you can see the engagement on it. So you can kind of see at the time when you took the snapshot, how was it performing? You can obviously give Facebook some ratings about these ads, and you can also save this for later if you like. So let's talk. What's the reasoning behind seeing recent ad activity? So the reason being is that you may want to, as a business, for instance, see what types of things you're clicking on. You may want to look at it because you might have seen an ad. And you're like, hey, you know what? That was a really good ad. I want to run some ads myself. So recent ad activity is a way for you to be able to go do that. So what do you think about this one, Nats? Do you think Facebook really needs to, do you like the fact that you can go see your Facebook ad activity?
I love it. I know this is going to sound weird because a lot of people are very against advertisements, but for me so far, like most of the ads are pretty very close to what I'm really interested in. So like for the past few days, like I've been seeing a lot of ads and I'm actually hitting that save or bookmark button because sometimes I'm just scrolling through and I don't have the time to like go and read through like this particular thing, like is this item something that I'm interested in? Or sometimes it's something that I still want to consider because, like the first time I've seen it, so it's something that I'm not going to buy on the spot yet, but I want to keep it at the back of my mind. So having this is actually perfect. I was actually trying to find it on my phone, but I'm using an Android, so I don't think I have that option yet.
Okay. It's under. I mean, here's the other thing. They also test these with some. They don't test these with everyone. So I believe though that. Yeah, but I actually believe it is available for a lot of people. So you may have to just dig around, look for a different menu. And the key thing is make sure the Facebook mobile app. That's the other key thing with this.
I'll have to check it out again because I was scrolling through it yesterday, but I guess sometimes they don't, like sometimes they just roll out to Android or sometimes they roll out to iOS and it's not always like all the accounts get it.
Yeah, it's so here's the thing. I want to go back to like what you just said a minute ago. Like you and I, like we both think of the same mindset here. So, and that's the fact that if somebody is going to go run a Facebook ad, and you see it in your newsfeed, you're like, hey, I want to go back and revisit that. I do the same exact thing. I see an ad and I'm like, hey, you know what? I either want to save the information because I want to go check it out when I have time, or I like the ad itself. So, thinking of the same mindset here, it's not about like trying to remember in your mind, well, hey, what was this ad I wanted to click on and then go try to find it. I mean, that's really fun, right?
Yes.
The other thing though, I think is really important here is there is that saved feature as well. And as a business, here's where I see this really being very useful. And that's the fact that I might want to go run a Facebook ad and I might want to look at, over the last couple of months, if I'm just getting started, I might see ads for certain things and I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a really awesome ad. I want to run an ad that looks just like that. Or I want to look at other kinds of copy or whatever people are doing. Instead of just taking a bunch of screenshots, you can just click on the saved option for a Facebook ad. And by the way, to do that, for those of you watching, very simple. All you have to do is go to your Facebook page. There's a little drop-down menu next to an ad, and it will give you the option to save the ad. So you'll be able to click there and save the ad for later. The other thing also, that Facebook's also testing with this, by the way, when you do click that drop-down on your Facebook account, there are options as well to run a similar ad. So you can actually click on somebody's ad and it will show you, when you click on it, it will take you to Facebook Ads Manager and it'll show you the objective the person is using. So that's actually a really, really, really useful feature as well if you're just getting into Facebook ads. Or you see an ad, you're like, hey, what objectives do they use? I want to run a similar ad. So that's topic 2 for the week. But I want to stick with this for a second because there's another update out from Facebook, and this is the fact that they've removed 4 very important Facebook ad targeting options. Now, there's a reason why they remove these, and Facebook does this from time to time. I'm actually, well, we'll talk about this in a second, but I'm kind of glad that they changed these. Reason being is because what happened was somebody discovered that there were certain ad targeting options that people could use to discriminate against people. And, here's the thing, same thing, with marketing, everybody, when something cool comes out, everybody says marketers are going to ruin it. In this case, it's people that want to discriminate against other people that are going to ruin running certain types of Facebook ad targeting options. So let's talk about those real quick. So in this article, this is from Marketing Land, by the way. Facebook's removal of 4 ad targeting options currently does not apply to existing campaigns. So here's what's happened. Facebook has disabled ad targeting based on a person's employers, their schools, their field of study, and their job titles. Unfortunate in a way that they've disabled these options, because those are some very useful options when you're trying to run Facebook ads. Now, they don't apply to existing campaigns. So if you're running Facebook ads, you're not going to be affected by this with your current campaigns. If you go to run a new campaign, you will not have these targeting options. So let me just get to this article real quick. Okay, so there's the article for everybody who's who's tuning into us with Zoom, and over on Facebook we also have dropped that as well into the top post there for Zoom. So Nats, how do you feel about the fact that Facebook is removing these targeting options? I mean, they removed them obviously because people could target. It says here could be used to target ads to people who filled in, for instance, if you filled in like that they hate Jews, or they put in the field of study as Nazi Party as their employer. It allowed people on Facebook to target people based on this information, and it's very unfortunate that people are being discriminated. I mean, I don't think it's not fair at all to discriminate against anybody. People are now taking it to another level, running Facebook ads, targeting somebody. How do you feel about this?
I think it's so crazy that that there are actually people writing that as their job scope or something. It's so weird, but I mean it's actually not good for a lot of people. Like, let's say you're a service provider that wants to provide that provides services to small business owners, and that is actually your targeting group. So like now that they removed it, you can't actually put that, and it's going to be so much harder for you to refine your ad to send it to that specific group that you're looking for, because sometimes you just want to market to other people who other people who are looking for ad space or something like that, and now it's going to be so much harder to refine it or to look for those leads.
Yeah. By the way, Danica, do you have any suggestions on this? I mean, so how are you using the ad targeting that Facebook was, how are you using the ad targeting that Facebook was allowing? Have you run any new campaigns maybe and, had to kind of change what you're doing? Let us know in the comments, actually, if you can. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I'm surprised that people, well, I guess maybe I'm not surprised as much that people go to the links that they do to, run certain types of ads. I mean, again, this ruins it for a lot of people. And it's very unfortunate. I mean, that they're actually that they have to remove this sort of thing, because these were very valuable options. Yeah. I mean, somebody's employer, for instance, or targeting somebody that went to a certain school. I mean, you could have, you could do like a rivalry thing. Like I'm thinking like a college football, you go to one school, maybe you went to Duke and maybe you went to UNC, you could go in and you could, run ads, as a, targeting a UNC person. If you were like, a business, mainly in the Duke area, stuff that's really going to help you get your content in front of the right people. The key thing to remember also with this is that, that Facebook does this from time to time for starters, and it's not going to affect your existing campaigns, so it's not retroactive. But hopefully, here's what I hope happens. Really hope that what Facebook's going to do is that over time they will come back and they will find another solution, another way to actually still allow you to have some of these ad options, because these are really, really, really important. So
I actually hope maybe they can like change it in a way whereby they still allow us to tag those, but maybe remove those hate words. Maybe they can specify certain words and not allow people to target those words, but everything else is still open. Because like what Danica said, like employers are key, which is true, because sometimes we just want to market to a certain niche, and now you can target that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to market to you want to market to a competitor, and granted, you want to be ethical in a way as well with how you are running your marketing. But hopefully they'll find a solution. It's Facebook. I will say this: I know they will find a solution because Facebook ads are a very important part of their business model. I mean, it's basically their business model. So it's about connecting people, but Facebook ads are really important for them. So. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch gears. Actually, hold on. Let me look at what Danica said here, actually. Yep. So Danica mentioned, for her, for Facebook ads, it's more about exclusion. She wants to be able to block out or target certain competitors for certain. And that's absolutely true. You do want to, for instance, you may want to exclude, I want to exclude all the people that are part of my company. Like, I don't want to run Facebook ads and spend money on showing my own ads to my own employees. I mean, that's just a waste of money at that point. Or, you can take it the other angle, which is I want to target people at a certain company. So you do, so hopefully Facebook will come up with some solutions here.
Yep.
Okay. So let's talk about topic 4. And I'm sure topic 4 is probably going to be really, really fun for you. And this is the fact that Snapchat they have launched some updates to World Lenses. They're bringing out Bitmoji. So anybody who has a Bitmoji, this is that little character that you had on your, this little character basically that you had where, it could kind of look like you sort of, you can bring this into your Snapchat World Lenses. So this is actually from an article from TechCrunch. This article, Snapchat brings Bitmoji to the real world with World Lenses. Basically what this is doing is, and this is actually, I love this feature, but that's because I love AR and VR and all that sort of stuff. But Snapchat is bringing World Lenses to the world around you using augmented reality and your smartphone's camera. And now the app is adding support for Bitmoji to the feature. Sorry, TechCrunch has a little bit of a grammatical error there, I think. But basically what this is doing is letting you take your animated avatars of yourself and drop them into your surroundings on Snapchat. This is a really cool feature. I want to actually show you all what this looks like real quick here. And then
I love it.
Let's see. Okay. So this is what I want to show everyone. So here I am. I've recorded a screen on my computer here. So I want to show you guys this. Okay. So this is my laptop here. And as you can see, like I have my Bitmoji in Snapchat and I'm able to place it on a physical object. So it's able to take this, this virtual object and place it on a physical object, and you can rotate your device around and your object will still be sitting on that exact place where you put it. This is a pretty amazing piece of technology, I think. I mean, one thing I think that's important is if you watch, like, and by the way, here's how you access this. You open Snapchat, you tap on the screen, it'll bring up the filters on the bottom, or the lenses, sorry, and you can swipe through those. Now, as you can see, as you drag an item, it's got this little grid underneath it. And what this grid is doing is it's calculating it while you're doing this, where the floor is on your screen on whatever object this is. So that is how your Snapchat Bitmoji World Lenses work. Now, there are a few other ones that are here. I will say that. So let's talk about this real quick. So Nats, what do you think? How do you feel about these?
Bitmoji is probably one of my favorite features because it makes it like really personalized. I mean, like, who doesn't like themselves? Like, having yourself in a very cartoonish character, you can use it like in all your snaps. And I think one of the things that why I'm really like loving this thing is because it really adds humor to daily life. Like the things
Mm-hmm.
that they do are things that people do almost every day, right? Like playing with a fidget spinner or doing yoga and stuff like that. But they add in
Mm-hmm.
that cartoonish aspect, and then they add in that humor, and it's they make it really funny. And I mean, I just can't help use it. Like I use it almost daily now. Like I'll
Yeah.
add into like different things, and then maybe a usual snap is very boring. I'll just add that, and it makes it different altogether.
So
That's
here's
like
the
the
thing: if I'm a business, how can I use this? Like, what do you think? I guess because if I'm a business and I'm over there and I'm bringing this up because if I go to my world lenses and I load them, and by the way, it's very interesting. I have some new ones that were not here recently. I actually have one of now. Apparently, there's one of me working on a computer. There's one of me drinking coffee. There's the fidget spinner one. Let's see what other ones are here. There's something, I'm over here shopping at a vending machine. Um, there's a dancing one, which is kind of interesting. So if I'm a business, are these applicable to me? Like, or what, how should I work with that? What do you think?
I think I would say it depends on like as a business, how would you want to, you know, use Snapchat? Like I really like watching behind the scenes, and
Okay.
I've like whenever I feel like I'm included in an event when I can see behind the scenes, like what people are doing or what I'm, how they prepare for it. So like companies can use Snapchat, like just let's say you're doing yoga and all that, you can add in the yoga thing, you're drinking coffee and getting started on your day, you can use that like that Bitmoji and then put it there. Like if you don't want to appear in front of the desk, then use
Mm-hmm.
that. I think it's a
Yeah.
great replacement. Like in a way, some people are not as comfortable to being on Snap, but you can use those animations as a way to story tell your day.
And and here's the thing: like, how much time should somebody spend storytelling their day? Should they go on there and they should, should it be every, should I do like 30 minutes at a time, or what should I do exactly?
Um, this is really funny because I think some people were asking me that question as well, and I was spending like up to maybe 4 hours a day previously on Snapchat alone, which is a long time. But I would say usually the stories would take me about 1 hour to create, and the rest of the time
Okay.
is actually engaging with the community, like just replying to messages or just checking out what my friends are doing or what some other people are up to. So I would say on the average, like let's say you're just posting and maybe talking to your clients, I would say maybe around 2 hours or so.
Okay.
Yeah, normally I would
Okay.
take about like 10-15 minutes to kind of like go through what I want to talk about on my story or the topic of that day. And then after that, I'll go into it. Probably spend about 30 minutes to 45 minutes recording it.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's very useful. I think that overall, if I'm using Snapchat, again, I mean, you don't have to do everything. Like, you don't have to document your entire day. I mean, you could just document a couple of seconds. It could be a couple of seconds of every hour. Like, what did you get done? By the way, this is also something you could do if you're like looking for like an accountability partner. Maybe you want to document what you got done in the last hour. To kind of keep to kind of challenge yourself. In this case, it could be almost like a little goal that you set between the two of you. Maybe, for instance, Matt, you and I could go on there and we could say, hey, you know what? Every hour we're gonna send a snap to one another. Here's what I got done, and in a way, it keeps you motivated. I think
That is
so.
actually what I did because I actually announced to Snapchat that I was going to start a workout routine about 1.5 years ago. And that's how I created the hashtag SweatSnap. Like I
Okay.
created this hashtag on Snapchat that is hashtag SweatSnap. And whenever people do their workout, they would take a selfie and send it to me and I would repost
Oh,
it.
and what's the
So
snap?
that's
What's the hashtag they're using?
SweatSnap. I'll just
Okay.
type it here. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what happened. Like that is the only thing that's keeping me accountable to my workout and fitness for the last 1.5 years. Because I announced it and people who are watching me, they expect me to do it. So I've been doing it like for the last 1.5 years, and that's probably one of the best things ever.
And that's a good thing. I mean, here's the key thing. My good friend Jessica Phillips, I mean, she's always talking about, so social is about building relationships, and that's absolutely true. If you want to build anything on social, you need to get your community behind your cause. And that's where for instance, having a custom hashtag. I think that is, that's a good way, because if you start doing it and then others start participating, it keeps people motivated, keeps them going. It's kind of like us doing this show. I mean, we do this show, and I love doing this every single week. But again, it's about the community, and and I like it when everybody asks questions and we engage and whatnot. So, really, really, really good to love the insight you're providing here on the Snapchat Bitmoji world lenses. By the way, I'd also suggest, I mean, if you haven't played around with these, they're pretty fun. And business can be fun. They don't have to, just to add a little bit of humor here and there. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's move on to, so that's all we've got for Snapchat for the week. We're going to now talk about some Instagram updates. And this article, it comes from TechCrunch. This article is about some new updates that Instagram is making to autoplay video. And I will say this, these are some very welcome additions to autoplay video. So here's what happens. In this article, Instagram now autoplays video sound once turned on. Okay, so let's talk about what previously happened. If I was on Instagram and there were some videos that were running, I would go to the video, and in order to play it, I'd tap on it, then I'd have to do my increase of the sound and whatnot. So the way that this new feature works is if you go into Instagram, so you launch the app and you tap to play a video, it's going to remember this setting until you close the app. So therefore, if you go from video 1 to video 2 to video 3, you don't have to tap on it and turn the sound and whatnot up. It's going to automatically do that for you, based on the fact that you turned it on. And it works the opposite as well. If you go to turn it off, it will also turn off all the sound for the videos as well. So this way, when you close the app, it resets. And when you open the app again, you have to decide if you want to play something. I like this feature. I like it for businesses because previously it was really hard for a business to, they had to have really good content to really captivate the audience. But now as a business, I mean, this is great news because you're going to be able to, people don't have to go in and turn on every single video. But what's also great is, as a business, this is going to really help you because it's going to help more people watch your video, get the sound. So that way you don't have to wait for them to, they didn't turn that one video on. It turns everything on. Now, what's also important to note though about this is if you're doing Instagram stories, those videos, they'll still stick with whatever your device settings are. So they'll only play the sound with the sound if it's unmuted. But overall, I love the idea of this little update. I think that Facebook should actually make this update available as well in the Facebook app. So Nats, how do you feel about this?
I think sound makes the video more interesting. Like sound is like the atmosphere of it, and it creates that entire experience. So I really hate it when I can't watch a video with sound. I always have to tap it on my own. Like now having this, I think it's great because, there is that drawing power, or you can actually get that attention to that particular video that you want people to watch. Like without sound, I'll probably be just scrolling through again and missing out on that, like any videos that people are posting. So now having this and, keeping it on all the way, not having to untap it, then as I'm scrolling, let's say this sound captures my attention, I'll probably pause there and spend a couple of seconds watching it and decide whether I want to continue or not.
And from a business perspective, this is fantastic because kind of like what you said a minute ago. I mean, if I spend money on running an ad, and I put this amazing, and I get the production cost and all that stuff associated with the video, and I put this video out there, and people then don't watch it, or they don't listen to it, and whatnot, and they miss the website or something like that I'm saying in the video, then I'm missing out. I'm missing out on an opportunity as a business. And so I like the fact that it's going to remember the setting based on when you're using the app, and then when you close it and go back in later on, you're going to have to turn it on. Personally, I like the fact that it removes a step, an unnecessary step, which was the ability to have to click on each video and turn the video sound on. But I also like kind of the precedence that it sets as well, because one of the biggest things with social, a lot of times people always complain about, well, I don't want to have a video autoplay for me, when I launch the app, because like I might not have headphones on, for instance. I might be in my office trying to, I might be watching a video when I shouldn't be, and so this, I think, strikes a really happy medium for everyone. So that is this week's Instagram update. So let's we got one more social network this week. We actually had quite a few this week. It's really good, by the way, to see a lot of updates from the different social networks. This next one, by the way, is about Pinterest. And if you listen to me talk on here a lot, I think Pinterest is a gold mine of information. The reason being is that a lot of your content really stays up there for a lot longer. It's not up there for a couple seconds, and then you have to kind of reshare it. So this week's update, this one's from Marketing Land. Pinterest opens self-serve version of Pin Collective branded content program. And this was announced just a couple of days ago, about 3 days ago now. Or sorry, hold on, we're on Thursday. Sorry, 2 days ago. And so through a deal with Popular Pays, Pinterest is helping all advertisers find talented folks to produce creative for its platform. So previously, if you wanted to be part of Pinterest's Pin Collective program, you had to be a very large advertiser. This has been going around for about a year now. But with that, Pinterest sales team would play matchmaker between brands and creators. And they were very selective, basically, with how this program worked. But here's the thing: not everybody is a very large advertiser. So how do you help small advertisers? They've launched the self-serve Pin Collective program. Brands can opt to make their own matches, and the program is available to smaller advertisers who don't spend enough to qualify for a dedicated sales representative. So essentially, if you kind of think of it like this, Facebook ads. If you run Facebook ads and you spend a ton of money with Facebook, they will give you a Facebook ads rep. If not, you're kind of on your own to run your own ads. In a sense, this is Pinterest's move, the Pin Collective, for smaller advertisers. Currently, Adidas Originals, for instance, they were the first advertiser to use the programmatic version of Pin Collective, through which the brand would find freelance artists. In this case, they worked with an artist who produced 12 pins for the sportswear company's streetwear brand. That was one thing that happened. Now, what's also fascinating, though, about this is brands are required to run the resulting content as an ad on Pinterest and cannot use content created through the platform outside of Pinterest, according to a Pinterest spokesperson. So basically, once you create the ad on Pinterest, they don't let you run it on other things. But that is the Pinterest Pin Collective for self-serve ads. What do you think about this one, Nats? You're a big Pinterest user, or not really, or what? How do you feel?
I am more of I guess I use it a lot because I am always into food. I'm always cooking every day. So I would just jump on and, check out if there's any cool recipes to try out, or to find even information on exercise. Like if I want to find a workout that I want to do at home today, sometimes I go on Pinterest and I get it, because a lot of people, they create it into infographics and they put it on Pinterest. So that is the perfect place for me. I spend a lot of time on it. But I think right now, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You think what?
No, as in right now, coming out with this, they are trying to put themselves as a competitor with, the other places whereby we can place ads now. I think comparing it with Facebook, this is a great move. Now it's open to everybody. It's an open market. So they are also, trying to get a share of the so-called online advertising dollars, which is perfect.
Yeah. And I think here's the thing. I think the thing about Pinterest that I really like is Pinterest is essentially, they're kind of working behind the scenes a lot, because a lot of times what will happen is, we do, for instance, social media news for the week. And every time it's Facebook this, Facebook that, Instagram this, there's never anything about, Pinterest. But I think overall, behind the scenes, Pinterest does a lot of things that, a lot of people they really need to take notice of, because there are things that can really help your business. I mean, if you're for instance, getting into Facebook ads and, you kind of tap that market, you need to maybe explore the Pinterest option and see what's available there.
Yeah. And Pinterest,
So,
it's very eye-catching too. Like the photos are usually much bigger, and it's more, you can really design it in a way to, like pop at the audience.
mm-hmm.
So I think it's great. I love Pinterest a lot.
So the last topic that we have, by the way, for the week is this is kind of like a foreboding, I guess, of like what's to come on iOS devices. So if you're an iOS user, an Apple user, this week Apple rolled out iOS 11. Now iOS 11 brings a host of new features for. Let me rephrase it. It brings a host of new opportunities for people using for instance, in this case, an iPad. In the case of Pinterest, Pinterest has now, so iOS 11, they've added drag and drop functionality for apps. So Pinterest has added drag and drop for pinning. And so I want to show you all this. So I'm going to take you there right now. So we're going to go look at an example of how this works. So here we are. We've got an iPad. We've got the Pinterest app, and it's running iOS 11. And what you can do here is, for example, they have a new feature. This is called Split View. And Split View lets you run two apps at one time. On the left, you have Pinterest. On the right, it looks like you have a website, Food 52. So what you could do now is you could open these two apps side by side on your iPad, and you can drag items from the web onto Pinterest and pin the item. Now, this is pretty awesome. I will say, so I've got an iPad. I was playing around with iOS 11. This does take a little bit of getting used to. The reason being is that you're used to just like tap, 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 tap. Now you have to actually like figure out, how do I do split screen, which, by the way, you do it by dragging an item from the bottom of your dock. They now have a dock item on iPad. You drag it up from the bottom. It will become one of these panes that you see on the right, for instance, and then you can do your alignment there. But I'm fascinated, just overall with just the direction that I think social is going to take in the next year easily, based on these enhancements from Apple. What do you think about this one, Nats?
I love this. They are making it so much more easier for us to use, because previously it's not so easy to use it on like tablets. I always use it on my computer, and like just doing this is so much more easier because you can just drag whatever photo you want and it auto generates the pin. Like previously, when I pin, they would pop up, and then there's a lot of other options that I need to choose. So by doing this, oh my gosh, this would be so great. Like for me, when I am always like surfing the net and all that, like I'll be seeing all these recipes that I want to use. It'll make it so easy for me to just pin it all into one section and refer to it later.
Yeah. I mean, I'm overall, I really am excited about just this direction, because I'm just thinking, because Pinterest, I mean, I could open Pinterest and now I can just drag things from one item to another, and all of a sudden now I have I'm able to pin things very quickly. I like that part, but I also am thinking, will this come to other social networks? For instance, will I be able to use Facebook on an iPad and say I want to go share something? There's no more like Command C, if you're on a Mac, or Control C and then Control V. So no more copy and paste. Instead, I could open the split view. On one side I have Facebook, on the other side I have the web, and I'm like, hey, I want to share a blog post. Drag right into on my Facebook page and have it pull all that information. So it takes, again, it's all about improving your efficiency. So
yeah.
Really, really, really going to be a really useful update, I think, for a lot of people.
That is awesome. I didn't even know it's available on the iPad. I'm going to check it out later.
Yeah. So here's what you're going to have to do. So basically, to get this iOS 11, these are the information for going on your phone. But what you do is basically go to settings. You're going to go down to general, and then you're going to go to software update and have it check for a software update. iOS 11 should show up as an update if your device is compatible. And then once you have that, make sure you update the Pinterest app. So when you update to iOS 11, then what will happen is you should get updates to also update your individual apps to work with iOS 11. So Pinterest, just the start,
Yes.
but I love this idea. So let's talk about some tools real quick, and then we're going to wrap up the show. So tool number one for the week, we like to try to pull 2 tools in for everybody. Tool number one is one called Storeo. And so Storeo is a tool for helping you increase the length of your Instagram stories. So here's the thing, Instagram stories, they're 15 seconds long. And I'm going to pull up my screen here for everybody. But Instagram stories, they're 15 seconds long. With Storeo, you are able to, let me see what happened here. With Storeo, you're able to increase them. You basically make Instagram stories that are longer than 15 seconds. You can have unlimited length, no cutoff words, no distracting timers. Pretty useful feature if you do a lot of Instagram stories. You can also repurpose your stories as well that you create with this. But this is Storeo. Looks just like an Instagram story. You create your story, tap export, and then you can open Instagram and then add your videos directly to your stories. So very, 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 very cool app. By the way, this is a freemium app, meaning it's free, and then there's like an in-app purchase if you want to remove certain things. But it's an $8.99 app. Nat, do you do a lot of Instagram stories?
I tried it a few times, but I'm still more comfortable on Snapchat because I think in a way, like I'm not someone that like does like video, like pre-record it and then after that upload it. I'm always like recording it on the go. So that's why like when I saw this app, I was actually very excited because I think this is great. Like on Snapchat now we see a lot of people doing like so-called Snapchat story or Snapchat films. So like we have seen like lately there are quite a few like Snapchat filmmakers coming up, and this is actually a very interesting like move for Instagram because now we can actually see like filmmakers start doing short films on Instagram, and this might take a lot of things to like a different direction. Because like with this app, I think you can actually pre-record and then edit it and use this app to slice it up and post it. So
you could do it. Yeah, no, definitely you could. So, I mean, it's again, I mean, it's about, if I'm over there trying to use some of these tools, sometimes I want to look outside of what is available, natively. There might be a better option there for you to use. So that's tool number one for the week. And then the last tool we have for you is called PlaceIt. And, for those of you who ever have, if you've ever watched, ever gone to somebody's website and you see somebody, for instance, like somebody's working on their computer and you happen to see somebody's like website on their computer and you're wondering, how do they do that? It looks really professionally done. This second tool is how they do it. And what it is a way for you basically put your website in here and you can drag and drop your website into these different situations. In some cases, in this case, these are still images, it's dropping your website in directly into here, but there's also some videos as well. So let me see if I can pull up a video. Let's see. So that's that one. So that's PlaceIt for you. Have you tried out this tool, by the way, Nats? Or used it for anything?
I actually had something similar because I was designing some t-shirts for my community on Snapchat. So what I actually did is I actually had my t-shirt on somebody else, because they have different options, right? So you can actually do this, place it for t-shirts as well. So that's what I actually use. Like I put my t-shirt design on somebody else that's wearing a plain t-shirt. Yeah. And that's what I'm using like to post on my social media sometimes.
Very cool. Yeah. So and I mean,
this option is so good. I love it. Like you can actually use it for like so many different things.
Yeah, well, and the great thing is, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, it's some standard stock video, but it's showing, real world proof in a way. Even though it's, just pulling, even though it's taking your video and dropping into somebody else's content, it's a very, very, very quick way to do, as I mentioned at the top, you can do mock-ups, you can do demo videos. There's quite a few options to choose from. You can choose from different mobile devices, different settings here as well. And this is PlaceIt. PlaceIt, by the way, is a paid app. They have some free options to kind of try, but then you can get into their individual one-time uses. But if you want to go, and use this a lot, it's $29 a month for 9 high-resolution images per month with some subscriber benefits as well, with a minimum 3-month commitment. But fantastic way to do this, because here's the thing: you can't go hire a designer for $29 and say, hey, can you make all these demo images for me? Chances are they're going to say, hey, it's about 10 times that or more.
Yes.
But
like the cost of just hiring a model to stand there and wear your t-shirt and then taking that photo is going to cost a lot of time, and just hiring people to do it and then editing it, having this is perfect, because it's only going to cost you a couple of dollars for one photo that you can use for advertising, can use for so many things, and it makes your brand more human, because people literally see it on a person, or seeing a person using it is different from having a screenshot or a photograph of that product.
Absolutely. So that's the last tool for everybody this week. So Nats, I want to thank you for coming on tonight's show. Lots of really good information you shared. Love the insight. Great examples. And I love hearing how you're doing it as a business owner. How you're using your social media channels to, grow your presence, drive sales. What are the best ways for people to connect with you?
Thank you for having me first. And
you're welcome.
You can find me on Nats Wang on Twitter, Snapchat, and I have a website, which is natswang.com, which is my name. I think that's about it. I'm usually contactable. I'm more contactable via social media than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And for those of you watching, we will be back next week. We're going to have Mike Gingrich on, another friend of mine. We've been working together for quite a few years, actually. But he's going to be next week's guest. So with that, I want to thank everyone for watching this week's episode of Social Chatter. If you have any questions about the show, we'll publish it over on. We'll have a blog post recap published at socialchefs.com/blog. That'll go out here on Friday morning. But with that, I want to say thanks a lot, Nats, for joining us. We'll be back next week with the regular crew. And it's been a pleasure having you on. So thanks a lot, everyone.
I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Bye.